Hello, lads and lasses. It's us, your weekly comic book reviewers.
Yep.
That was terrible. Now we're done. We're not doing voices anymore.
I didn't do voices.
Because you failed at voices.
Yeah, I don't do voices.
Kiriyama Sparta here, again with...
Sarah.
If you're seeing us, you know it's good old Wednesday. Although this might be Thursday by the time you're watching it. But you still know we're going to review some comics. Yeah. And we've got...
Technically we're talking to the future.
Bitch, please.
That's awesome.
Anyway, we've got 3 potential comics today. Two for sure. Yeah. Of course, we're gonna have our tried and true before Watchmen. Rorschach number 4 came out. Yay, Rorschach!
It's the end.
And then we're gonna have our another comic book retrospective. If you haven't seen our last week's one, I went through The Killing Joke. Read The Killing Joke.
Yeah, you kind of.
That's the review. Is you should read that, and if you haven't. What do you have against comics? Sarah, what are you going through this week?
Gotham by Gaslight this week.
And I'm excited because, once again, I haven't read that one. That's an Elseworlds one I haven't checked out. And we might potentially be doing, what was it?
Detective Comics number 18?
Yeah, Detective Comics 18. It's after the whole...
Damien fiasco.
You should know by now that Damien died.
Yeah.
Watch our Batman Inc. number 8 review.
He got stabbed.
He got everything happened.
Yeah,
but then he got stabbed.
Yeah. Death by stabbing.
Anyway, so we got all that going on this week. But of course, we're going to start off with our tried and true before Watchmen, Rorschach. That is the cover for number 4. Sarah really digs it. I don't know. I like all the other covers better, so I was like, why did they save the best cover for last?
It's not the best one, but I like it because it still has the mask-ish in the background.
And once again, like the other ones, it's the first panel of the comic you're about to read, actually. So that's...
Which is neat.
That's kind of neat.
I'm still very sick. I have bronchitis.
I didn't give it to her.
No. Next week it's going to be... something else.
Yeah, you're like a fucking magnet for octopus disease. Tentacles. Anyway, so quick review. Awesome.
Oh yeah.
Really awesome.
It's a great finish to the story.
It's a great finish to the story. Yeah. It's hard to believe that this is the same guy that's writing Comedian.
You know.
It's like it's done so much better here.
I think it's the art too that really helps, though.
It does, but I mean, it's still a really good story. I actually like what goes on in here. Once again. This is the dynamic duo of comics. When these guys are together, they make fucking comic gold. So, buy it. Rorschach, the whole series, the quick review, is a buy.
Absolutely. Without hesitation.
It's a really good series. With that, of course, being said, now we're going to get to our page-by-page analysis. Ooh, going to get deep in thought. No, we're not. Anyway, so Rorschach number 4 picks up right where Rorschach number 3 ended, and we need to look this up because
it's been a while.
I couldn't believe how long it's been since we've reviewed Rorschach. So he's getting into a fight with Rawhead's thugs, the one thug specifically, and Rorschach basically just gets laid right out. He does not do well at all, and the whole time he's doing this, Rawhead's in like some disco suit,
the white suit, disco.
The white, you know, John Travolta, Saturday Night Fever. He's just singing the whole time, while Rorschach's getting the living shit kicked out of him. Yeah. So Rorschach gets knocked down on the ground, and they remove his mask, and Rawhead says, "This fucker's a nobody." Yeah. And that comes into play because he basically just keeps calling him a nobody throughout the whole comic. Because he doesn't want to know his name. So he takes off his mask and actually puts it on himself. Rawhead puts on Rorschach's mask. And
he says it stinks.
He says it stinks. He's like, this face is nasty. Yeah. Or that one. And then, of course, you know, Rorschach's not a very attractive man.
No, I guess not.
Except in the movie. I don't know. I don't think... You know. So he basically knocks him out after that. And then we cut to the city, of course, is still going through that blackout that just happened because, as Rorschach put it, the city just gave up.
It just quit.
Just quit. Too much happening.
Yep.
And with this blackout, it's gone into full riot.
Looting.
Like, everyone's stealing. I think they said, like, a bunch of people were just getting their asses kicked. There was a couple...
Well, it's mayhem.
Anarchy.
Yeah.
Complete mayhem.
Madness on the streets.
And while this is going on, the waitress, the one that's been showing interest in Rorschach... She's, you know, why are they doing this? It's just a blackout. She's like just appalled at what everyone's doing.
Yeah, she's just standing there watching everything in the middle of the street.
And she gets a hand on her shoulder, and she's like, "Come on, we need to get out of here. We need to go somewhere safer." Yeah. Basically, takes her to an alley,
which is much safer.
Which is much safer, of course. And we probably mentioned this, but like in the other comics, I was like, I bet I know what's going to happen to her.
It's kind of predictable.
It really happens.
Well, kind of. But...
She gets caught by the Bard.
Yeah.
The guy that took her back there is the Bard. So he grabs her by the neck, pulls out his switchblade, or razor, actually, it's a straight razor. And we cut back to Rorschach waking up on a bed, and Rawhead's still on him singing. He's straddling Rorschach.
Rorschach is tied spread eagle onto the bed.
Well, not full spread eagle because he's got his arms and everything too, but yeah, and Rawhead's riding him, still singing for some reason, wearing Rorschach's face, and the whole time he's just so psyched actually to be wearing the mask. He's like, "Call me Mr. Rorschach," you know.
Motherfucking superhero Rorschach.
And it's like, what are you getting at? Because his subordinate is like looking out the window. And he's like, I don't get it, man. And basically, he's kind of appalled at how people are acting down there. He's like, it's just a blackout riot. I don't know why they're all doing this. And he's like, not Rawhead.
It's ironic, considering what he's been doing with Rorschach.
And that's the thing too. Is this comic actually is ironic in what happens here? It's really weird, and that's why I kind of like it. It's a neat twist.
Yeah.
So they get to talking, and he's like, you know what? Just finish off Mr. Nobody here, because that's Rorschach's new nickname.
And he says, Rawhead says that he wants to go out in the streets wearing the mask and cause trouble because, hey, that'd be so much fun.
And we actually do find out what happened, how Rawhead got his face like that. It was from Nom.
Yeah.
And
which is kind of what we thought. I think that's what we said.
And there's some actually good quotes in here too. He even tells him, "Was like, you know something, Nobody? I get this. The mask thing, I get it. It's what separates you from the motherfuckers. My face, lack of fuck. I became what I am back from Nom." So that's where we find out.
And then he says, "I chose to live up to my face, but with a mask, I look like everybody underneath it," which is an awesome quote.
It is.
Awesome, awesome.
Very well done. And that's when he says, "I'ma do it." He literally says like that, "I'ma do it." He's gonna go out and stop people from being...
mischief.
Yeah. Like I said, I came out of nowhere and I was like, okay.
I think he's more going out there to cause trouble. I couldn't tell if he was, you know...
It's kind of ambiguous, because it looks like he's trying to steal a TV back from someone stealing a TV, or if he's trying to return it.
Who knows?
You know what, this could be a whole interpretation thing. I think it's a neater idea if he's like, you know, fuck it, I'm gonna be a superhero. Like, that's kind of cool, I like that. So, while he heads out, his subordinate is pretty much going to torture him.
Lucky P.
Lucky P. And he says, "I want to know your name." He's like, you know, before you die, I want to know your name. And just so you know, too, even if you tell me you're dead, I am going to kill you. I would just like to know your name. So...
And Rorschach doesn't give his real name, this is Vic.
Exactly, yeah.
And Lucky P even says, "Really? You don't look like a Vic, more like a Howard."
Yeah.
Just saying.
And he even says, you don't want somebody to know why you do what you do? Like, he's kind of confused why Rorschach wouldn't give him his whole, like, this is why I do it.
Yeah.
So while he's talking to him, Rawhead's out there, like I said, he stole a TV from a guy. And the guy's got a whole bunch of friends, and he basically does the, come on, come at me, bro.
Yeah.
Does that. And he's still kind of we cut back to Lucky P torturing Rorschach. He's got the knife into his nose. It's cutting in a bit. And I like this too. He's like, he's still trying to figure out why he's vigilante. And then it finally dawns on him. He's like, you don't even know why you do this. You're like a fucking animal.
Yep, and then you hear a
grr. And we had to look back to a tiger attacks him. Now, I'm pretty sure I pointed out because I'm like, fucking tiger, but in Rorschach #3, when Rorschach broke into this thing, there's a caged tiger in the back. So what I'm assuming is he let the tiger out while he
did let the tiger out, and the tiger attacked all of the thugs, and then the tiger disappeared.
And then it disappeared.
So we don't know what really happened to the tiger. They should do a miniseries with the tiger telling what happened. It'd be interesting.
From the tiger's point of view? It'd be like food. That's it. So while this guy's getting attacked, while Lucky P is getting attacked by the tiger, we're cutting to Rawhead getting hit by a brick, and just basically both of them get killed. Rawhead gets the living shit kicked out of him by a mob. He gets killed, and Lucky P...
The next 3 pages have no dialogue.
No dialogue, it's just them...
It's beautiful art, which...
Oh, yeah, once again.
Gorgeous. It shows a shot of Lucky P being...
eaten...
munched on by Mr. Tiger at the top.
And then Rawhead just dead in the street there.
Yep.
And then we cut to the Bard actually leaving that
the alley.
The alley, so you can kind of assume what happened. So while this is going on, some people have broken in and they're stealing booze. While Rorschach... This club's got booze.
No one's watching it.
And there's blackout, yeah.
Everyone's dead or otherwise occupied, so what else would you do if there's an open bar, I guess?
So Rorschach basically heads out, grabs his mask back from the dead rawhead on the ground, and he says, "You're not me."
Yeah.
Or "You ain't me." And then we cut to Rorschach's journal.
Handwritten style.
Handwritten style. July 11th, 1982.
Ditch the typewriter.
5 years ago today, the city showed its true face. So he's talking about the blackout and what happened.
And now we're flashing forward.
And here we get some really great art. I just love seeing Rorschach on the rooftops. It's done so well. He basically goes on a big rant about how the city really showed its true colors.
Yep. And how afterwards people were just trying to hide the fact that this is what they did. They didn't make eye contact with each other because they knew, I know what you did in the dark.
Yeah. And then 5 years ago, the night of my last mistake, the Bard made his first. Because he did cut up the waitress and he actually slit her throat, but she didn't die.
She survived.
She survived. She stumbles out, someone wraps her in a blanket, and
she ID'd him.
She ID'd him, too.
Turns out it was a regular customer at the diner that she worked at.
So, which makes me want to read back, because he's probably in a bunch.
Probably in the bunch, yeah.
I just didn't realize it. He was behind bars for nearly 3 years before he went to trial. Victim testified, inept prosecution. Prosecution still botched case, and Ronald James Randall. Ronald James Randall?
Ronald
yeah.
James
Just the way he writes is so weird. Just like, these are back. I don't know.
He's got sloppy V's.
Kind of sloppy writer. But yeah, Ronald James Randall is the Bard's name.
He was acquitted.
He got acquitted, got out scot-free. Yep. So, of course, you know, that's not sitting well with Rorschach. So, the panel kind of ends up with...
He's watching house.
He's watching his house, yeah. He says, I know what he did in the dark, and I know where he lives.
And then he says, he explains what happens to the girl. He just says that she
doesn't know. He doesn't know what happened to her.
She left, disappeared.
She probably left town to become a victim somewhere else.
And I do still have the typos in his journal. He crosses out letters and he adds ones that he forgot.
Like in somewhere, he forgot the E, so he's got an arrow with an E above it. It's really nicely done. She and her scars, no escaping the naked truth once carved across her chest. You deserve me. And D is like away from serve. Yeah. And we get a nice little shot of just Rorschach walking up behind him, blinds go down, and just fucking murder him. And then we get end in police tape, and I like that.
You can imagine what happened there.
Yeah, exactly. So that's Rorschach number 4, and like I said, I've made no hesitations about it. I fucking love Rorschach. This was a great prequel comic to Rorschach.
It was awesome.
Mm-hmm. Especially with the way it ends there. Like, if you think about it, like, that was his last mistake. After that, he's like, fuck that.
No, be more careful.
Mm-hmm. So, Rorschach, buy it.
Absolutely.
Buy it. I do know that the Rorschach pack comes with comedians, so...
It's the same writer.
And once again, there's still one more to go for comedians, so it could still maybe get better. Hope for the hopeless.
Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed.
Knock on wood.
It's probably fake wood. Fake wood from... Yeah. Anyway. So, if you had a good time here, please hit that subscribe or thumbs up or comment. Once again, I'm Kyriam Sparta.
I'm Sarah.
And we're about to get into Gotham by Gaslight. So, if you want to check out a cool vintage comic, I know I'm excited for it.
Mm-hmm. It's awesome.
Watch our other video here. Bye.